In Luke chapter 8, we read of a man by the name of Jairus, a religious leader of a synagogue. Now, Jairus had a 12-year-old daughter who was dying, and he made his way and he found Jesus, and he asked him to go to his home and to heal his daughter. This man would have had to have put down his pride and put his trust in Jesus. See, the Jewish religious leaders were the ones responsible for getting Jesus arrested and having him crucified. So by going to him, by going to Jesus, his reputation as a Jewish religious leader would be tarnished. But his circumstance was beyond his control. He no doubt heard the many stories of Jesus healing the sick, opening blind eyes, and casting out demons. So when it became personal with his own family, he would put aside his beliefs. He would put aside his pride to reach out to the Messiah. Now, before Jesus could make it to his home, a servant of the man came and said, "Sir, it is too late. No need to bother the teacher any further. Your daughter has died." See, their thought was, yes, he can heal the sick while they're still living, but she is dead, and now there's nothing that he can do. How many times has the devil lied to you and said, it's too late? Don't go to God for help now. Why pray? See, Jesus responded and said to Jairus, "Fear not and have faith, and she will be made well." So they came to the man's house, and Jesus only permits Peter, James, John, the mom and the dad, to enter with him where the daughter lied. Now, people on the outside were mourning, they were crying, but some were ridiculing Jesus and saying, "She's already dead." And Jesus said, "Do not weep. She's not dead, but sleeping." Let's understand. In the Bible, the idea of sleep is a description of death. So he's saying, I'm going to raise her back up. Remember Lazarus in John chapter 11, verse 11? Jesus told his disciples, "Our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him up." And then his disciples said, "Well, Lord, if he's asleep, he'll just wake up on his own." And Jesus had to make it very clear to them. He said, Lazarus is dead. See, Jesus used a metaphor to describe someone who was dead. Stephen in the book of Acts, chapter 7, he was martyred for his faith. And Luke wrote that he fell asleep. Now, interestingly, the word cemetery comes from the Greek. And the word cemetery literally means sleeping place. See, the common thought was when someone takes a nap, there will be an awakening. Therefore, it was common to say that someone slept while they were actually dead. See, after death, there will be an awakening somewhere, someplace. The decision is made while you are still living. See, there's a story There's a story of a man who goes to a church and he tells the pastor, "Can I make a prayer request?" And the pastor says, "Sure. What would you like me to pray for?" And the man says, "Well, my cousin died last week, and I want to pray to God that God would guide him in the afterlife." And the pastor looks at him and responded and said, "Suppose you're taking an exam. Do you pray before or after the test?" To pray after is asking God to change the results, to manipulate the situation. See, that is not possible for God to manipulate against his own word. God will not change the result of your decision. When the exam is over, it is over. So now back to our story about this little girl that had died. Jesus said, "Little girl, arise." Then her spirit returned, and she arose immediately. See, the miracles were to demonstrate his authority. His authority over disease, that's of the flesh. His authority over demons, that's of the spirit realm. His authority over the wind and the sea, that's all the earth. And his authority over life and death, that's over everything, the entire universe. So choose this day who you will serve. Jesus loves you. God bless you.